The 2022 Apple TV 4K was a total beast for streaming, giving us that sweet 60 frames per second HDR, but let's be honest, it had some seriously annoying flaws. We are talking audio that randomly decides to go out of sync, screens going totally black when you switch HDR modes, and Apple basically laughing in our faces if we wanted a standard Ethernet port or true lossless audio. Today, I am diving deep into exactly what is dropping in the 2026 Apple TV. Why did the last one mess up so badly? And what wild new upgrades is Apple actually putting into the next one? Let us kick things off with that little aluminum wand of stress, the Siri remote. The 2022 version ran on regular old Bluetooth 5.0, which sounds perfectly fine for sitting on your couch, but it constantly froze and disconnected. Apple actually had to rush out a panic software update just to stop the bleeding. So, the real bad guy here was not the distance, it was the buggy software. The upcoming 2026 model is heavily rumored to pack Apple's brand new N1 wireless chip, bringing Bluetooth 6 and Wi-Fi 7 to your living room. Plus, word on the street is we are getting a completely redesigned remote. Now, a shiny new Bluetooth chip will not magically fix terrible code, but better antennas should finally kill those random drops. Verdict: highly likely to be fixed. But hold on, what about watching movies in the dark? The old remote looked amazing, but it had zero backlit buttons. I mean, who leaves all the bright lights on for movie night? It is such a stupidly easy fix. Just throw in a cheap motion sensor so the buttons glow for 5 seconds when you grab it. The 2026 remote is getting a makeover, but honestly, there are no solid rumors proving we get backlighting yet. Verdict: incredibly easy to do, but it is a total coin toss if Apple actually cares enough to make it happen. Alright, let us talk about that total nightmare of lip sync issues. The old box pushed video to your TV, but beamed the audio over the air to your HomePods or soundbar. Splitting those signals was a disaster. If your TV took even a millisecond too long to process the image, your favorite movie looked like a badly dubbed infomercial. Apple tried giving us a wireless sync tool, but it just proved how big of a headache this really was. The 2026 Apple TV is teaming up a massive new processor with that N1 chip to strictly control the timing. It will basically measure your TV lag and delay the audio to match it flawlessly. Inside the Apple bubble, this is going to be magic. But if you have a clunky old soundbar from another brand, you might still see some weird delays. Verdict: mostly solved as long as you buy Apple speakers. And what about those awful audio pops? The 2022 model handled all the big Dolby formats, but jumping between them caused a nasty popping sound or just 3 seconds of pure dead silence. Your audio receiver was basically choking trying to keep up. A much faster 2026 processor can load up the next audio track way before the first one stops. That means no more annoying dead air. Verdict: huge improvements coming, unless your home theater gear is ancient. Then we have the dreaded black screen of death during HDR shifts. The old Apple TV had the power, but if you started a Dolby Vision movie from a normal menu, boom. Black screen for 3 solid seconds. The box did not actually crash. Your TV was just freaking out trying to swap color modes. The 2026 Apple TV will process that connection way faster, but it simply cannot force your cheap TV to speed up its own hardware. Verdict: shorter blackouts on newer TVs, but the problem will not magically disappear. Let us look at the plugs on the back. Back in 2022, Apple got super cheap on us. The entry model had no Thread smart home support and 0 Ethernet ports. You had to pay extra just to get a reliable hardwired connection. A 4K movie does not need insane internet speeds, but it really needs to be far away from your terrible Wi-Fi. The 2026 model steps up to Wi-Fi 7, giving your streaming multiple fast lanes. Thread is probably going to be standard for all your smart home gadgets, but that physical Ethernet plug, yeah, Apple absolutely loves charging extra for that. Verdict: Thread is definitely happening, but they will probably nickel and dime us for Ethernet all over again. Now, gaming power with absolutely no games to play. The last box had the A15 chip, and it handled controllers fine, but the App Store was a complete desert for actual big games. The 2026 box is upgrading to the A17 Pro, or maybe even better. We are talking real hardware ray tracing and heavy graphics power, enough to run console games like Resident Evil, but the storage space is the real joke here. Modern games are huge, and the old 128GB limit cannot even hold 2 massive games today. Apple desperately needs to drop a 256GB version, and honestly, they need to pay game studios to actually care. Verdict: the hardware is totally ready, but the game store is still a ghost town. Siri was also way too basic. The old Siri could pause your show, but if you asked a normal question, it completely panicked. The 2026 model is packing a brand new AI-powered Siri with a rumored 8GB of RAM. This box will easily juggle your movie, your history, and crazy voice commands all at once. But Netflix and YouTube still hate playing nice. Apple owns the box, but they do not control those apps. Verdict: Siri gets super smart, but app support will still be annoying. Here's the ultimate punch to the gut for home theater fans: no full lossless audio. The old box forced compressed Atmos and totally ignored pure DTS or Dolby True HD from your ripped movies. The chips were always fast enough. Apple just refused to pay for the license. The 2026 model has all the speed in the world, but not a single leak mentions lossless audio coming back. Verdict: probably still ignored entirely, so keep your bulky media players. So let us stack them up really fast. The 2022 model gave us the A15 up to 128 gigs, Wi-Fi 6, and a super glitchy Bluetooth remote. The 2026 beast hits back with the A17 Pro, 8 gigs of memory, Wi-Fi 7, and a completely fixed remote. It runs your smart home better, kills the audio lag, and gives Siri a massive brain upgrade. But you are likely still stuck with compressed audio and paying extra for an Ethernet cable. So when do we actually get to buy it? Apple is keeping their mouth shut, but all signs point to fall 2026. Why? Because this new hardware completely relies on the massive new Siri update to actually work, and that big software drop happens between September and November. October is the absolute sweet spot. It gives Apple a full month to fix the early software bugs. So definitely circle October 2026 on your calendar. Now, I really need your take on this. Which of these old massive headaches does Apple absolutely have to fix before you give them your money? Is it the black screen delays, the annoying remote, the totally empty game library, or that missing lossless audio? Drop your exact answer down in the comments right now. I'm going to pick the absolute strongest comments, throw them right on the screen in my next Apple TV video, and answer you directly.